I'm joined today by Captain Mazzone of the New York State Police. Jim Soto is the Regional Director of the Office of Emergency Management for the State of New York. Ben Vogt-Gardner, who's the Assistant Secretary for Public Safety. Lieutenant David Clayton from the DEC Police. Bob Kick, who is the Construction Manager for Tappan Zee Contractors, and Sheriff Falco from Rockland County. This has been a multi-agency effort. I want to thank the Coast Guard very much for their assistance and their help in this tragedy. I want to thank Westchester County and all the local police agencies that have been helpful from Rockland County working with the state. Brief summary of the situation: 5:15 approximately this morning. There was a barge coming downriver, headed south. The barge had a crane on it. The barge and the crane that were coming south were unrelated to the Tappan Zee construction. The barge was being steered by 3 tugs, one on the left, one on the right, and one in the rear. The tug on the right collided with a barge that also had a crane on it. That was a barge that had Tappan Zee contractor workers on it. 13 workers were on that barge, and that barge also had a crane. That barge was working on the Tappan Zee Bridge and as part of the operation. The barge that was coming down the river was being operated by tugboats, two from New York Marine Towing, and one was a Weeks tugboat. The tugboat that struck the Tappan Zee barge was being operated by New York Marine Towing out of Albany. It was the tug that was on the right side. There were no injuries on the Tappan Zee barge that had 13 workers. Speculation is that the workers saw that there was an imminent collision, had time to prepare themselves and brace themselves, as to why there were no injuries of the 13 workers. The tug that hit the barge was named the Specialist. It was approximately 84 feet long and apparently sunk within minutes after having collided with the barge. One body was recovered. That person is deceased now. The other 2 bodies have not been recovered. There are state police divers who are now using sonar to determine where the tugboat is resting and how it's resting, to see if it's safe for the divers to approach that tug, which is at the bottom of about 40 feet of water. Ancillary situations: that tugboat that sunk had about 5,000 gallons of diesel aboard. We are estimating that tug is leaking that diesel. There are professional boom operators who have put booms already into the river to collect the diesel that is leaking, but there is a clear leaking of diesel, and DEC is on site working with the private contractor to do the best they can to clean up and maintain that diesel spill. State police will have more information if and when they enter the water on and see the tug and do an assessment at that time. Obviously, this is just a tragedy. It's just a tragic accident. It's no point of speculating who did what. The Tappan Zee barge was illuminated. They saw the barge that was coming down the river, and it appeared to be too close. We're lucky that there were no injuries of the 13 people who were on that Tappan Zee barge, but this was a loss of life, and it is tragic, and our hearts go out to the families who had to hear that news today. As I said, there are three people who were aboard that tug, and those families are suffering right now, so we offer our thoughts and our prayers. We'll do a full investigation to see what we can learn from this incident, if anything. We're working diligently to clean up the diesel spill to protect the river. And that's what we know at this time. As we have more information as the investigation proceeds, if and when the state police divers enter the water, we may have more information. But again, a tragedy. It's a loss of human life, and that's the main point of today. You have three people who left for work and who aren't going to come home, and that's what today is all about. And again, our thoughts and prayers are with the families. Any questions for myself or for any of my colleagues?
Based on the tides, any idea when divers can go down?
They are looking first. It's a question of tides and water condition. It's also a question of the positioning of the tug and how it's positioned on the bottom of the river and the stability of the tug. You want to make sure there's not a danger of the tug rolling over or capturing a diver inside. So the state police are now using sonar to make that determination. Where is the tug exactly? How is it positioned? Is it stable in that position? And then they'll deploy the divers when they have more information on the safety of the situation.
Governor, do you have any early theories on what caused this? And second, can you talk about any long-term environmental damage to the river from the spill?
We have no idea other than what I've told you. It's too early to speculate on what might have happened with the team that was towing that barge down the river. In terms of the spill, the resources were deployed quickly. We have a private contractor who's out there already. DEC is on site already with 2 crafts monitoring the cleanup. It's not a good situation, clearly, but we don't expect at this time any long-term damage. As we said, we got on it right away. The crews are out there, and so far as we know, we believe we have it contained.
Do you have the identity of the victims, or at least ages and genders?
Not for us to release at this time.
All right, thanks everybody.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you again, all the multi-agencies that have responded and have done a fantastic job right from the get-go. And I want to thank them all very much for their cooperation and for their hard work. One of our blessings in this great state is we have accidents, we have tragedies, we have weather situations, but we have first responders unlike any others. They are selfless, they're professional, they're trained, and they've done an extraordinary job once again today, so I thank them all very much. Thank you.